mission friends. We'll get started in 5 minutes. I'm going to be teaching a prenatal yoga class. If you can, gather some props for yourself so that you have 2 blocks and a bolster or a blanket or a pillow or something that mimics a bolster. So 2 blocks, nice thick cushion. That should do it, I think. And we'll start in just a couple minutes. Using the camera to fix my hair. So good morning, everyone. My name is Kat Aquaviva. I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. I'll be teaching a prenatal yoga class, kind of an open level that will appeal to all stages of pregnancy. I myself am in my 14th week of pregnancy. It feels like I've been hovering around this time for so long because my due date has been changed a couple of times. So I've been ahead, I've been back, now I'm back at 14 weeks. But excited to share this experience with all of you. So again, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, set of blocks are going to be helpful. Something that would mimic a bolster, same thing, if you don't have blocks, just something that will be block-like. And that should really do it, unless you feel very strongly about sitting on a blanket or padding your knees, that kind of thing, okay? So let's get started. We'll start in a Sukhasana, which is a seated pose with your shins crisscrossed. I'm gonna sit on a bolster, but it's not necessary. You might feel totally fine sitting on the floor, okay? What's important in this pose is that your feet come out as wide as the opposite knee and that your shins are parallel to the top edge of your mat. You don't have to sit in the middle facing the side like I am, but just make sure that your shins are parallel to the top edge of the mat, okay? And then just rest your hands in your thighs. Close your eyes. I want you to just start to create a sense of relaxation through your body. It's really important to acknowledge stress that's in our lives and use this practice to actively move stress out of the body and use our breath and other concentration techniques to help manage our reaction to stress in our mind. It's a constant practice. So just check in with yourself. Notice where you're at this morning. And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to be feeling a little bit different than you did yesterday. You'll feel a little bit different today than you will tomorrow. But just notice what's on your mind, how your body feels. And set an intention around bringing yourself into a state of balance so that you can be of greater service to everyone else around you. Let's bring our hands into a prayer at the heart. And just empty your lungs out completely so you're a vacuum inside. Fill up with a fresh inhale. And really gently just slacken your jaw, let the breath out of your mouth. Lovely inhale for Om. Lift your heart up, bow your head forward just slightly in reverence. Release your hands into your lap. Level your chin with the earth and then blink your eyes open. Okay. So stay where you're at actually and reach your arms out in front of you. And I want you to just kind of take hold of the floor and pull it towards you so that you elongate the whole front line of your torso. If you're deeper into your pregnancy than I am, you can take your blocks underneath your hands so that your belly has a little more space. And same thing, you're pulling to create this openness across the collarbones. But really, you're tipping your pelvis so that your external rotators in your outer butt really get a stretch. Okay, take a big breath in, low and wide across your lumbar spine. And breathe out. You can leave your blocks there for now, but take your hand, right hand to the floor outside of right hand and reach your left arm up and over your head. And just stay there for a sec as you're working the left side of your body open.
And you can start to intuitively move. Like, for example, my body is asking me to do this subtle rounding and arching, almost like I'm turning my heart up and then turning the heart down, just so that I can feel more than just the side body stretching, but a little bit around towards the front of my ribs, a little bit around towards my back. And it really should be dictated by what feels intuitively right in your body. Okay, so really get into feeling. And then take your top arm all the way down, sit upright, and slip your right hand behind you. Now your fingertips will be able to lightly touch the floor. You can even use your front knee or shin. And you're just going to rotate your spine around to the right. Now your belly is staying forward, and it's really from your bra strap up that you're finding this rotation of your spine. And for some of you it will feel small, and for others it will feel a little bit more pronounced. Generally, the earlier you are in your pregnancy, the more you can comfortably twist, but again, we always want the belly to kind of remain unaffected, so we're not twisting our baby for obvious reasons. Okay, and then turn to face forward, and I want you to float the arms out to the sides and up to the ceiling. Bend your right elbow and take your left hand onto the elbow point. You're just going to lean your skull back into your upper arm so that it kind of opens up the chest, and then I want you to inflate your back ribs and smooth your front ribs down as best you can. And then take your left arm out to the side, internally rotate it, and reach behind your back. Okay, don't worry if you can't bind your fingers. My fingers aren't bound together right now. And then release your top arm down and take this one behind your back as well. You can take 3 options. So behind your back, you can clasp your elbows, you can take a fist bump, or you can take a prayer, but behind the body, okay? Much more challenging when you move the arms behind the back. Widen your collarbones. Take a big breath in. And breathe out. So take your left arm and reach across your chest over your right shoulder, just like this. And you want to crawl your fingertips down as if you're going to touch the 2 sets of fingertips together. And then take your right arm across the chest, and what I want you to do is crawl your fingers around the sides of the rib cage, crisscross your upper arms, and see if your fingertips can grab the shoulder blades, that ridge on your shoulder blades. And then press your elbows forward to inflate your upper back. Direct your breath into the space between your shoulder blades. Big breath in. And breathe out. And then release your bottom arm, top arm up, and your eagle wrapped. Spin your thumbs to the right. Lift your elbows up, and then take little circles to the right. And the goal is to slide your shoulder blades around on your back. And then circle in the other direction. Sliding your blades around on the back. And then come to the middle. Take your arms and open them wide so your collarbones feel long. Squeeze your palms together behind your back. And then lean back, putting your hands on the floor. Now your fingers are going to point out to the sides. You'll scoop your knees up and put your feet flat on the ground. So I'll face sideways for this one. But you'll take a reverse tabletop, lifting your hips by hooking your tailbone under. And it's just a neutral place. Unfolding the hips with your legs totally neutral. Now press your sternum up so your chest is wide. And then release the pelvis back down. Crisscross your legs with your left shin in front. And then make sure your shins are parallel to the top edge of the mat. Stay here for a second. Close your eyes, elongate your spine. And again, just check in with your breath. Let your eyes open up. Reach out in front of you using your blocks or your hands on the floor. Pull against the floor. So it's almost like you're trying to facilitate a back bend, but really you're just making your butt pointier and you're rolling your pubis down and forward, sticking the tailbone back. Okay, you should feel really good on your outer hips.
Take a big inhale. And exhale. You can leave your blocks there. Slip your left hand outside of your left pelvis. Reach your right arm up on the high diagonal. And just start to press into your right rib cage. And then you can take your time and move how you feel you need to move today. Just to kind of work out any kinks you might be feeling in your back and your shoulder girdle. But just kind of move around intuitively within your side stretch. And know that your breath can be used really effectively to open your intercostal muscles in between each rib. Okay, and then take your top arm and cross it down to the floor or a shin. As you roll up through your spine, you'll twist to the left. Again, being sure that your left hip and left side of the belly are releasing forward as you rotate. Just above your bra strap. And then float the arms up, turn to face forward. Arms lift up and above the head, and you bend your left elbow. So you'll lean your skull into your forearm, which tends to flare the ribs out. So smooth your front ribs down and lift up through your back body. Lift up through the chin so your throat is open. And then take your left arm down, right arm down behind your back, and see if you can scissor it up in the direction of your top set of fingers. Whether or not you bind is not the priority, okay? Take your top arm and release it down and behind your back. And then see if you can bind your hands to elbows, or take a fist bump, or take your reverse namaste. All three options are beautiful, as long as your chest is wide on the other side, really long collarbones, and beautiful poised posture. Your right arm is going to reach across the chest, over your left shoulder. See if, or even just in your imagination for some of us, your fingers can touch together. It might take a whole lifetime to get the fingers to actually touch. And then bring your left arm and reach across the chest. And then hook your fingers around the sides of your outer rib cage, and around the back of your shoulder blades if that's available to you. Push your elbows forward so that you spread apart your shoulder blades. Breathing into your upper back. One more. Bottom arm, top arm releases up. Spin your thumbs left, and then circle your elbows to the left. Okay, it could be big circles, could be little circles, but it's not your rib cage, it's your arms. Switch the direction of your circling. And then come to the center. Palms move to opposite sides before slicing out in their own directions. Palms squeeze together behind your back. Roll your armpit chest up. Pressurize your upper arms and palms together. And then again, let your hands come to the floor. Now, you might feel okay turning the fingers forward towards your feet. If this is too much, just turn your fingers out once again. But the way you lift the pelvis is not by letting the butt stick down, but by hooking your tailbone underneath towards the back of your knee pits. Slide your chest up higher and unlock your elbows. Keep your head elevated. Take a big breath in. And breathe out. Lower your pelvis to the ground. Okay, so you can either shift to the side and come forward, or you can crisscross your shins and roll forward over your shins. Okay, have your blocks medium fasten a little bit further back away from the top edge of your mat. Flip your right wrist forward so that your fingers turn back towards your right knee, and make sure that your wrists are standing on the same horizontal line across your mat. Bend your right elbow and circle around your right wrist joint. Now, some of you might just be keeping the torso stationary and circling, but others might be kind of getting a little more loosey-goosey through the rib cage and the pelvis, finding circles in the cervical spine and the skull. Make sure you reverse the direction of your circling. And keep trying to bend your right elbow so you stretch into the meat of your forearm. And then come to neutral. Flip your right fingers forward and take the other side.
Left wrist flipping forward. And notice how I kind of have to move my hand back so that the wrists stay aligned with one another. Be wide across your left chest. Circle around to the left while bending your left elbow. And if you had been keeping it really kind of quiet and simple, try moving more of your body, the pelvis circling the rib cage, and potentially even the skull. Switch the direction of your circling. Just lubricating joints. Getting a little weird. Come to neutral. Flip your hands forward and take them forward a little bit more. Take your knees wide and your toes together. Pull with the heels of the hands, and as you breathe in, move your chest forward through the upper arms. And then round your spine and prop up to your fingertips as your butt moves back towards your heels, like a rounded spine child's pose. Do this again. Inhale, come forward, palms down, pull with your hands. Exhale, round your spine, and when enough weight shifts back, prop up to your fingertips. One more time with this flowing cat-cow. Breathe in. Exhale, round your spine and shift your butt way, way, way back. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Neutralize the legs so they're parallel to one another. Tuck your toes, and then shift back into a downward facing dog. Just a simple calf stretch on the right side. Anchor your heel to the floor, bend your left knee, and push forward with your palms so that your chest and your belly move back towards your right thigh. And then switch. Anchor your left heel down, bend your right knee far forward. You're really bearing weight through your left foot primarily. And then come to equal footing with your knees a little bit bent. And I want you to swivel your heels to the right so you feel that you're stretching your left waist. I like to come up onto my left fingertips and swing in my tail to the right, all 10 of my toes point left. And then over in the other direction. Heels swivel to the left. I prop up onto the ball of my right foot a little bit. I come onto the fingertips of my right hand. And I hook my tail left so I feel my right waist open. And then come to equal footing. As you breathe in, come forward into a plank pose. And right away, put your left knee down on the ground. Okay, swivel your right foot flat to the floor and take your left shin behind you. Modified side plank. First reach up to the ceiling. And then take the arm up and over your head so that you get this beautiful curvature through the top edge of the body. Push your pubis forward, lean your skull back slightly, and curl your fingertips closer to the floor. Big breath into right waist. As you exhale, bring your hand down onto the ground. Neutralize your legs so that your right ball of the foot is connected down. And you'll take a down dog split, lifting your left leg up. Turn your hips open and bend your airborne leg without letting your whole body become this asymmetric spillage to the right. I want you to turn your left armpit in towards your face and have your shoulders square even though your hips are asymmetric. And then re-extend your legs, square off your hips. Put your foot down on the ground. Put your knees down on the ground and then stand up on your shins. Hook your thumbs above your skull. Now, what's important here is that you're not letting the back go into this kind of sway back, this C curve. I want you to draw your tailbone down, pull your belly up, and then reach up so you feel the whole front body getting this gentle stretch open with intelligence in the pelvis. And then bring your hands onto your blocks on that medium facet. Pull them right underneath your chest and step your right foot forward for an Anjaneyasana. Now just transfer some weight forward towards your right heel. Pull with your right heel and scissor your legs. So you're really working for stability and strength versus this like stretch, okay? You strengthen your body. And then reach your arms up, breathe in. And as you exhale, you'll cactus your arms. And then you're just gonna work an undulation in the spine. So as you breathe in, let your wrist kind of tip back. As you exhale, you're gonna slightly round your spine and let your palms kind of turn down. Breathe in, ripple backwards through the upper spine. Exhale, ripple forwards. It's like you're cat and cow. One more time. Keep scissoring your legs. Exhaling, rippling forward. Now reach back up to the ceiling, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, hands to your blocks. Straighten both of your legs. Now you might need to tip your blocks up higher for this modified Parsvottanasana if the back body is tight. Now, make this your own. If you feel like being really stationary, that's what my body is calling for, you can be stationary. You can work a flex in your front foot if you have that available to you. You can also really gently undulate your spine. Now for everybody, the belly is sliding just inside of the right thigh, and you're still scissoring your legs just as you did in Anjaneyasana, so that you're creating a sense of integrity in the pelvis within this asymmetric shape. And then breathe in, lift your chest up and turn your blocks up to the tallest facet. Come as high as you can on your fingertips or on your Tupperware or whatever it is that you're using. Keep your hands here, but turn your toes to the left so that your feet are parallel to one another. Some of you might have it available in you to walk the hands further forward to the top edge of your mat. And then pull your left inner thigh towards the back of your mat. So you're transferring more weight to your left foot. Now you can either leave your blocks or take them with you. I'm gonna leave mine. I'm gonna take the fingertips underneath the chest and I'll turn both of my feet out. Bending the left knee brings us into one of my favorite poses, Skandhasana. Now some of you will have bodies with shorter Achilles tendons, which means your heel will lift off of the ground. It's perfectly fine. Allow that to happen as long as you're not rounded in the chest, rounded in the spine, flexed in the chest. Stick your booty back, slide the sternum up so you feel a stretch through the right inner thigh. And then you'll stay low, turn your feet in first, and then transfer yourself to the top of the mat in a lunge. Hands to your blocks, step forward and take a half lift, breathe in. Exhale and fold, breathing out. Now, stay here with the hands on the blocks or move them slightly to the sides and catch your elbows to be a ragdoll. Okay, so just a nice passive stretch for the back of the body and the hamstrings specifically. Move tension out of your neck and your shoulders. And then as you exhale, drop your hands down towards the floor. As you breathe in, push your hands into your shins, arching the back forward, looking up. Exhale and fold. And then round your spine, bend your knees more, and walk your hands up the front of the body as you roll up. Arms come overhead with an inhale. You're just going to catch your left wrist and side bend over to the right through your exhale. Inhale, come up, turn the palms in. Exhale, moving in the other direction. Inhale, upright, turn your palms in, look up. As you exhale, just take your arms behind your back and interlock your fingers. Breathe in, stretch your arms long and bend your knees. As you exhale, fold halfway towards the floor. Draw your belly towards your back. As you breathe in, you're just going to twist to the right, bending your left knee deep. And then exhale, turn back to the center. Really you want to breathe in at the center. Exhale, turning to the left. Breathe in, come back to the center, belly facing down, draw your baby towards your back. Exhale and fold. Take your hands to your blocks or your block-like things. Tip them up as high as you can. And as you breathe in, float your chest up, lift your left leg up. And we're just going to stay here for a second. Imagine that you're pushing your foot into a table to help you pull your pubis up towards your face. Unlock your standing knee and extend your chest forward. And then take a big step back. And when you feel stable, arms come over the head for crescent pose. Okay? Now, micro bend your back knee and rotate your left hip forward. Pull with your right heel so that again you're using isometrics in the lower half of the body to create strength, to create stability in your pelvis. So important. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, take your hands to your blocks, put your back knee down if this is the way you need to transition. Both knees to the floor, blocks to the side, downward facing dog. Now obviously, if you still have enough space to bring your hands to the floor and just step back to a dog pose, do that. Okay? Take a breath in, come forward into a cow spine. Exhale, round your spine, cat spine. Inhale, arch for cow. Point your feet, take your knees and ankles together and sit back on your heels. Arms reach up to the ceiling with an inhale. And you're just going to tilt your skull to the right. Your right fingertips grab the far edge of the skull and your left arm lowers on the diagonal. Inhale, reach all the way up. It's just a nerve and fascia stretch on the outer neck and the top of the shoulder. Other side. Inhale, the arms reach up, gaze up. Exhale, take your hands to the floor. Cow spine, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Couple of breaths. Just as you're working a more articulate downward facing dog, slide your shoulders away from your ears and wider. Okay, turn your armpits in and then move your chest further back towards your legs. And if you're working straight legs, push your heels down and anchor your thighs towards the back. Roll forward into a plank pose and know you're going to put your right knee down right away. Swivel the foot down and the right shin behind you as your left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Top arm will arc over your head and you'll start to become as curvy as you can. This is like one of my favorite things in the world because the side stretch feels just so nice. I had an incredible amount of pain in my first pregnancy in my rib cage. And I know it's because I didn't move quite enough. So these side stretches I'm really hoping will help me as my ribs expand in this pregnancy. Okay, take your palm down onto the floor. Right shin swivels back. Pressurize your left foot down and take a down dog split. Right leg lifting and the airborne leg bending. Again, keep symmetry in your shoulders. Right shoulder hooks in towards your right cheek and your left biceps lift up higher. Lost an air bud there. Okay, breathe in, re-extend your legs, square up your hips, and then step your foot down to the floor. Put both knees on the ground, and as you breathe in, stand up, reach your arms up, hook your thumbs together, draw your tailbone down, your belly up, and just pull the front body open. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Cow spine, breathe in. Grab your blocks as you exhale, step your left foot forward. Scissor your legs as you transfer more weight into your left heel. Reach your arms up. And then cactus your arms out to the sides. Breathe in, you're just gonna let your arms get windswept back, your chest opens. Exhale, undulate forward. Inhale, rolling your heart up. Exhale, undulate forward. One more time like this. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, rolling slightly forward. Now reach up to the ceiling, breathe in. Exhale, hands to your blocks, at least the medium height. Straighten both of your legs. Okay? Either undulate or be still. Now, scissor your legs so you're not just complacent and waiting. Participate with this pose. Plug your left femur into your hip socket, right hip rolls around and forward. Gradually, your belly is sliding further inside of your left thigh, and your chest is moving down towards your left leg. Breathe in, come up high onto whatever kind of prop you're using, high as you can. Turn your toes to the right so your feet are parallel to one another, and walk your hands, if this is interesting to you, to the top edge of your mat. Now, pull more weight back through your right outer hip so you transfer more weight into your right foot. Reach through your right side waist. And then leave your blocks or take them for support. Hands come underneath the chest and you turn your feet out, breathing in. Coming to Skandasana on the right side as you exhale. And again, you're extending your sternum out. You're sticking your tail back slightly. And then you turn both of your feet in as you travel forward into a lunge. Big step to the top of the mat, hands around blocks to give you space, open the chest. Fold into your legs. You can move your blocks if you want, but we're going to use them in a moment or so. Clasp your elbows, clasp your skull, just be a ragdoll hanging down. And then exhale, drop your hands to the floor. Ardha Uttanasana, look up. Exhale and fold. And then bend your knees a little more. Roll up through your spine using hands for support. Reach to the ceiling, breathing in. Grab your right wrist, side bend left. Inhale, come up, separate your palms, and side bend to the right. Inhale, come all the way up, turn your palms to face in. Exhale, circle the arms behind the back. Interlock fingers, left thumb on top. Breathe in, stretch your arms as you bend your knees. It's like you're sliding downward. Exhale, fold, parallel to the floor. Breathe in, turn to the left, right knee bends, left leg straightens. Exhale, and stay right here, breathe in. Exhale, turn to the right. That's really the way to do it. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, hands to your blocks on the tallest facet. Stand on your left leg, right leg floats up, supported warrior 3. Stabilize your pelvis and pull your pubis up towards your face. Take a graceful step back into your crescent pose, reaching your arms over your head. Little bend through your back knee so you can pick up the front bones of the pelvis. Draw your tail down, your belly up. And then exhale, either hands to the floor, step back to dog, or put your right knee down, your left knee down, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in, come forward into cow spine. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, one more cow. Point your feet, ankles, and knees together as you sit back on your heels. Arms reach to the ceiling, breathing in. You're gonna stretch your right side of the neck. Tilt your head to the left. Right arm reaches long. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, other direction. Head tilts over to the right. Inhale, reach arms up. You can even look up. Exhale, palms to the ground. Pull your body forward into a cow spine. And then take downward facing dog, lifting your hips. 3 breaths. In. Exhale, breathe out. And again, breathe in. Exhale, empty your lungs. Last one here, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. And take lots of steps to journey to the top of the mat. Grab your blocks when you feel like you need a little bit of extra space. Keep your feet separated. Inhale, extend your sternum forward, looking up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand up. Reach your arms to the ceiling by arching up. Draw your tail down, belly and pubis lift. Exhale, hands to the heart in Samastiti. And release your arms down. Just a couple continuous rounds. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, fold to your legs. Inhale, spine elongates forward beyond the toes. Exhale, bring your hands to your blocks, step your right foot back, left foot back to a dog, or put your right knee down, left knee down, hands to the floor, step to downward facing dog. Come forward into a plank pose. Set your knees very far back and down on the ground. So from your baby towards your back, hook your tail towards your knee pits. Exhale and bend your elbows. Inhale, press up to a modified plank. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, press up to your modified plank. Exhale, bending elbows. Inhale, press up. Shift your booty back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Exhale, the knees bend, look forward. You can either walk to the top or put your knees down. Grab your blocks under your hands. Step your right foot forward, back knee lifts, left foot step forward. So these are the transitions and the options. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the heart. And the arms release down. Again, inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Tail down, belly lifts. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. And you'll make your way into your dog pose, left leg leading, and you move through the transition that makes most sense for you. Okay? Breathe in, come forward into your plank pose. Put your knees very far back and down. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, press up to a modified plank. Exhale, bend the elbows. Engage your transverse abdominis by firming the sides of the belly. Exhale and bend. Inhale, press up to your plank. Exhale, move your booty back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Either walk to the top or put your knees down. Grab your blocks. Step left foot, right foot, and fold. Inhale, stand up, arms reach to the ceiling, look up. Exhale, hands to the heart, and release down. Put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your baby. Just take a moment to connect with your breath. A moment to connect to the energetic presence of your baby. Many of you might be able to feel your baby moving already. Alright, allow your eyes to blink open, and then release your arms down. Okay, so let's take a chair pose, Utkatasana. Make sure your feet are separated, bend your knees and reach your arms up. We're just gonna hold here to build some strength. I want you to slide your feet energetically apart, and then imagine that you're squeezing a block with your inner knees. In fact, let's all actually come up. Take a block if you have one, or a thick blanket roll, and put it between your inner legs, okay? And then we're gonna come into chair. So I really want you to feel your glute med and glute mid turn on. So as your feet slide apart, it's like you're trying to scrub your feet wide. You squeeze the block with your inner knees. It feels so good and stabilizing in my outer hips. This is something I need to constantly be thinking of because of SI instability and asymmetric pain in my pelvis. If that's you, this is really a tool to use in your own body. Okay, so keep that squeezing in the sliding part of your feet, and then pull your pubis up a little bit more so that your chest lengthens up. Sit deeper. Take 5 more breaths. This is your first. And your second. Third. One more. If you need to bring your hands to a prayer at your heart, you can. And then stand all the way up. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. As you exhale, fold. You can remove your block on your journey down. Inhale, lift your chest up and turn your blocks up to the highest level. I want you to step your right foot in the midline of your mat and step your left foot back so that your right heel bisects the back inner arch of your foot. Bend your front knee forward, but feel your hips slightly turned out to the left. Circle your arms into a warrior 2, and then straighten front leg as you hook the right arm over the left. Bend your front knee forward, and just gaze over your right shoulder towards the top of the mat. And I want you to focus on the inner spiral of your back leg, but the bending forward of your front knee. Okay? Stay right here for 3 more breaths. You can keep working the elbows up and the forearms forward, and the upper rib cage to slightly twist left so that your shoulders are square to the side of the mat. 1 more breath here. Unravel your arms, straighten your front knee, and just reach up and back, reverse triangle. Triangle pose. Reach out past your toes, hooking your front hip back, and then grab your block and set up your triangle pose. If you're not using a block and you're resting your hand on your shin, it's important that you're not locking into the back of your right knee, but that instead you're keeping the knee what feels like a little bit bent. You can even flex your right set of toes away from the floor. That's another good trick for keeping the musculature active in your legs. Just 2 more breaths. Now make your low back longer by hooking your tail towards your back heel. Last breath here. Look down, bend your front knee. You're going to take side angle pose. Elbow can come to the thigh, top arm reaches over your head. If you want to go deeper, reach down and grab your ankle or use a block under your hand. Now take a big breath in. Exhale, the arm circles down. Just huge circles with the arm. Breathe in. Exhale, it reaches overhead and down. One more time. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, take your hands down onto your blocks or the floor, whatever makes more sense. Back heel swivels up, put your knee down, or step back straight into your downward facing dog. We're gonna take a dog split. Right leg lifting up just to create a little bit of a release for that right hip flexor. Set of hip flexors. Re-extend your leg, square off your hips, and then put your foot down. Now you can either step outside of your right pinky or put your knees down, grab your blocks, and step your right foot outside of right pinky. Back knee to the floor, and you'll bring your hands to the floor likely, most people. If you need your blocks, keep them. Turn your right foot out, let your pelvis shift forward, and you're gonna lean onto your left hand and twist towards front leg. Right hand is on the inner knee, and you're pushing the leg away from you. So I'm gonna turn my body, angle my body slightly differently so you can see it. But this is what it's looking like. And I'm moving the thigh away so that I get this big opening of the right hip crease. Okay? So it's not like a major back bend. I still want you to be hugging the 2 sides of your pelvic halves in towards your pubic bone. Okay? In towards the midline of the body. All right. Bring your hands to the floor, fingertips to the floor. Front foot can stay turned out. Back knee lifts, and you'll step forward into a squat. Upavesasana, yogic squat. Take a big breath in, reach your arms forward, lift your butt up. Exhale, hands to the heart, or the arms can reach up. Inhale, stand all the way up. Touch your palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, reach up. As you exhale, hands come to the heart, squat down, Upavesasana. Inhale, arms reach forward, your butt lifts halfway up. Exhale, hands to the heart, squat. Inhale, hands to the floor, lift your butt up. Parallel your feet and heel toe them slightly closer together. Take your hands onto your blocks. Left foot steps to the middle, right foot steps back. Okay? Align your warrior 2. And then when you're ready, circle the arms and come on up. So again, you're finding that rotation of your right leg. Straighten the front leg, left arm wraps on top of right. Look over your left shoulder and then re-bend your front knee. I need to grab a swig of water. But you're here in your warrior 2 with the eagle variation. So any variation you can do in your arms within a standing warrior pose is really great because it gives you openness through the upper back and the shoulder girdle and strength in the lower half of the body. Okay, so straighten front leg, unravel your arms, and just lean back, reaching way up and back. Exhale, lean forward for triangle pose. Right arm reaching over your head. Now hook your tailbone towards your back heel. Unlock your front knee. And then pull your pubis up towards your face. Your left shoulder moves onto your back. And you're just turning your heart to look up. Big breath in. Exhale and breathe out. Just one more here, breathe in. Exhale, empty. Down to the floor. Breathe in, bend your front knee, taking your elbow onto your thigh, or your hand onto your ankle. Inhale for length in the top edge of the body and for a hooking of the tail. Exhale, top arm circles down. Inhale, reach it back, lift it up. My spine is gently undulating with the circling of the arm. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor or
hands to your blocks. Put your back knee down if you need that transition. Both knees down. Down dog split. Left leg lifts up and back. Created a release for your left hip. After all of that work we did in that series of poses. And then you'll either step your left foot outside of your left pinky finger, or you'll put your knees down first, and then step your foot outside of left pinky. Right knee lands, right hand turns out, and you're just gonna push your thigh away from you. This one is like quite a feel-good pose for my body. Hopefully you're enjoying what it's doing to create space in your left hip joint. Still hug the two halves of your pelvis in. It's a really tricky thing to work with, but once you start to figure it out in your body, it has a really good stabilizing effect. Okay, hands to the floor, fingertips to the floor. Lift your back knee up, and then step forward into Upavesasana, a yogic squat, hands to the heart. Breathe in, reach forward, arms parallel, butt lifts, your belly lifts. Exhale, hands to the heart. Be upright in your torso. Either keep hands here or reach them up. Inhale, stand all the way up. Touch your palms, look up. Exhale, hands to the heart, and release down. Inhale, reach all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Upavesasana, yogic squat. Inhale, reach forward, butt moves back. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last time, inhale, the butt lifts up, the arms reach forward. Exhale, fold into your legs, heel toe and your feet closer together. Now, either use your blocks under hands, or you know the deal. Step back to your very last downward facing dog. And then put your knees down on the ground. Okay, so I want you to set up a virasana, sitting on something in between your two ankles. All right, and then all you'll do is hug in towards the midline, reach your arms forward and up, and we'll circle them back behind the body. So just a little prep for the chest before we take a camel pose and one other back bend. So your elbows might be a little bit bent so that you are being sure that you're not hyperextending your elbows, which my body is wont to do. And then pull your hands against one another as if you're trying to rip them apart. And that's going to give you access to a lot of power in your upper back. As you do that, draw your front ribs down, inflate your back ribs, but lift your sternum up without losing the integrity in the front of your body. Lift up, up, up through your chest. And then relax. Okay. Set up your blocks so that they're just outside of your ankles. And if you have a bolster or a big couch cushion or something that you can set up behind you, like a Stonehenge, that's going to be really helpful. If you don't have props like that, you can use a chair right behind you. You can also just stay active in a camel like this, okay? So let's all reach the arms up and then circle them back behind the body. And I want you to just take the hands, fingertips to the back of your SI joints and push the heels of the hands into your back as you narrow your upper arms. Use your fingertips to hook the tailbone down and then lift your heart up, 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 up. Extend your arms reaching back in the direction of your props or your chair, or you're staying upright with your hands interlaced. Okay, camel pose. Rather than sinking, push down to lift up. Keep poking the tail down, keep lifting your pubis up. Take one more breath. And breathe out. Hands come to the heart, rising up. Put your feet. Have a seat on something. We're just going to do a little bit of abdominal toning after that back bend. Okay, so I want you to just visualize the two sides of your transverse abdominis, which wrap from your spine all the way around to the front of your body, okay? connected by a sheath of fascia between each side. Okay? So every time you exhale, you'll be knitting the transverse abdominis closer together. You'll be drawing the sides of the waist in, the back of the body forward, and naturally your belly will move towards your back. Your goal is not to try and suck the belly back at all. Your goal is to try and knit the sides closer together, okay? So breathe in, let your belly be soft and squishy. As you exhale, feel the sides of the abdominals toning in. Breathe in, soften your belly. Exhale to breathe out, engage these muscles. Inhale. Keep going with this, exhaling using an SH or an S sound, or maybe just a blowing out the mouth. But while you do this, I want you to focus on relaxing your pelvic floor as much as you can. Relax it so much that every time you breathe in, it feels like your pelvic floor kind of bulges down towards the block. Exhale and soften your pelvic floor, firm your belly. Breathe in. It's a really tricky thing to learn how to do because you're doing opposite things in your abdomen and your pelvic floor. Keep going with this. And just know that the purpose is to start to train your body. You're pushing muscles through your transverse abdominis, and your pelvic floor is going to need to be soft, relaxed, so it can be pried open as your baby nestles the head down further and further, okay? So important to make this connection in your mind. Transverse abdominals tone as the pelvic floor softens. Okay, complete whatever round you're doing. And then relax. Okay. Let's set up a restorative pose because, man, don't we all need some restorative yoga during pregnancy? So I'm gonna set my props up like this. Now you might not have props to set up like this. You can take a big couch cushion with some smaller cushions underneath the top so that it creates like a little bit of an incline. Get creative with what you have on hand, but as always I suggest getting yourself some props to support your body during pregnancy if yoga is important to you. I would also suggest having something for your hips in this pose. I'm just gonna grab a blanket because I forgot I would need one. And I'm gonna use it to support my outer hips in a Supta Baddha Konasana. If that is not what your body is asking for, you can take a different shape in your legs, whether the legs are forward with like a bump under the knees to hold the knees in a bent shape. That's cool. But if you want, blanket roll on top of your ankles and outside of the thighs, or 2 couch cushions underneath your outer legs. Use your hands to recline yourself back. No abdominal strength should be used as you recline back. And then take your arms into a place that feels comfortable and relaxed. And you might need to kind of slide your shoulder blades onto the back to lengthen your tail forward. And then you just get to unload, unravel. So let's just talk about, as you're laying here and relaxing, the importance of conscious relaxation during pregnancy. One, we're all dealing with major transitions as we think about starting a family or adding a member to a family. It affects us in so many different ways. I don't need to name them, you know. But brings up a lot of emotions and strategy and thoughts and conversations and tensions. And so taking this time to
create new pathways in the brain for de-stressing, new techniques, new coping mechanisms, and ways to soothe the body in times of stress. We know through scientific study that conscious relaxation has great, profound effects on the level of our health. It can help to move illness out of body. It can help us to improve digestion, to improve our sleep at night, and our general ability to deal mentally with stress. So it's really so important. The other thing about relaxation during pregnancy is that it will have a direct effect. You're practicing conscious relaxation will have a direct impact on how you're able to find moments of relaxation during labor. So I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to let you be here, focus on your breathing, focus on melting your body heavy. So try not to move your body, but do bring your mind back into your physical body so that you can notice any sensation. Allow your breathing to deepen. You'll become conscious again. I want you to neutralize your legs if you took that butterfly or that diamond shape. The knees will draw together and the feet will widen. And you'll roll to your side and use your hands to come back up into a conscious seat. And I would suggest sitting on something for this last pose. Elongate your spine. And take one hand to your heart, one hand to your baby. And draw your awareness some love and compassion underneath your hands for you as well. It could be a really difficult time going through pregnancy because it's such a giant shift in our own state of being, what that means for our own identity and time and energy. So just be compassionate with yourself. Let's take our hands into a prayer in celebration of this practice and the profound effects it can have on our lives. And with this in mind, let's all breathe in together. And you just clear it out the mouth. And breathe in for Om. Deep gratitude for all of you practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I teach this prenatal class every Monday at this time. Please join me again. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon.